Hi Scorpio, here's a general look at your solar chart for November 2010, and may I wish you a happy birthday. This is your time of the year when the sun has come all the way around the wheel back into your birth sign, your sun sign. Scorpio is the 8th sign of the zodiac. It's a water sign, one of the 3 water signs, and yours is the fixed element of water, which means that you can get very intense and very compulsive sometimes about following up on an instinct or a feeling. You can sometimes get very wrapped up in your emotions as well. You have a very sensitive nature, but you also have quite a forceful nature, a very willful nature. You can be very successful in life because of that, but there are times that you can get a bit blinkered and a bit too over-involved or even oversensitive in what you're doing, and you're not seeing maybe the bigger picture, stepping outside of those that amazing perception of yours to sort of pierce through to the key insight of someone or something. And maybe sometimes you get too wrapped up in what you're seeing or what you're feeling, and that can be emotionally what you're feeling maybe towards another person. So every now and again you need to sort of pinch yourself and say, okay, just lighten up here. Your sign rules the regenerative organs of the body, so that's sexual organs. Your sign is ruled by Pluto, the death rebirth energy. And so you're very good at regenerating yourself, at sort of rising phoenix-like from the ashes of a past experience, relationship, job, life, illness. Really quite amazing people with your ability to resuscitate, rehabilitate, and not only yourself and your life, but also to help others to do so, to do that as well. Your sign is connected to the other side. It's a sign which is connected to the occult, the mysterious side of our nature, the area which is kind of taboo, the other side of the door, as it were. And many of you will have psychic ability. Whether you use it or not is up to you, and also healing ability, because of that intensity that you have, that ability to focus very intensively into something. So if you choose to be working with those kinds of more subtle energies, you can be very good at it. You have the ability to be very receptive, to feel your way into somebody else's field, as it were, the field that surrounds every living thing, and kind of mesh your field with theirs for however long it takes to do whatever the work is. But also in business, you can be very successful there because, like all water signs, you're very self-protective, you're protective of nearest and dearest, and so you can potentially be a very good provider. And this thing about rehabilitation, the Pluto force that rules your sign, and also we get a little sort of helping of Mars in there, which gives you the drive and the push to succeed. This is about an evolutionary process which moves over great cycles of time. So in your life, you may be aware, depending on how old you are, that there have been distinct cycles that you've sort of grown through and then grown beyond, and then that bridge has been burnt, and then you've moved on into a new paradigm. And so that's why your sign is connected to the snake. That glyph for Scorpio, the M with the arrow, is actually a snake, even though your sign is called Scorpio. Snake energy is about rebirthing into something completely new as the snake sheds its skin periodically and comes out in a new skin, into a new life. Your color is like a deep red, not a bright, flashy red. There's nothing bright or flashy about you. You go for the sort of maybe the blacks or the maroons or the burgundies. If you are, pure Scorpio, but of course you'll have a rising sign and a moon sign as well. But the Scorpio colors are like that. There's an intensity in your gaze. There's a charisma about you. You can be dangerous, but also attractive to others. And you have this almost like snake charmer, hypnotic ability. In fact, some of you might be interested in hypnotism. Stones would be those connected with the root chakra. So, again, the deep reds, but any kind of deep color. Right. Yes, you're very good at, starting all over again or helping somebody else, to bridge them through trauma or drama. You can sail very close to the wind because you do actually quite like intensity. You do thrive in situations where there can be, maybe because your sign can also be a bit repressive of feelings, and then like a cork pops, like a volcanic eruption, you can come out, it all sort of splatters the walls really with how what you've been keeping inside, because you're quite a secretive sign as well. But then you have an understanding of how somebody else is, what somebody else may be keeping back as well, because you've been there and done it yourself. And you can be very constant and steadfast and loyal in relationships or with the job or whatever, but bearing in mind that there is always this need for you to evolve, grow through and evolve out of one situation and into the next. And that's it off the top of my head at the moment. And just now, your ruling planet Pluto is in the communications area, but it's also in the area of helping you to learn many new, maybe unusual concepts or symbols or codes or language. I say many, I mean, in many different ways, aspects of this. Also, it is the area of creative self-expression as well. It's also the area of travel, education generally, media. And so, because your ruling planet is going to be in this section of your solar chart for many years to come, you should be feeling a pull there to, and even without you knowing it, getting into situations where you are not only taking in a lot, which is shifting your stance, your mental stance, and getting you to rebirth in that area, through education, through learning language, through learning culture, through learning about how, systems work or other people, other cultures are. It's also you as the teacher, you as the transmitter, you as the broadcaster, you as the translator in some way, you as the one who is putting something out which is creative in a self-expressive kind of a way, through the written or spoken word, through music, through any of the arts. So that's another way this can be working, but also of course through that ability that you have to see into the beyond, to be able to pull through a power, because your sign is connected to power and energy, which can help others in some way. And in November, well, you should be stepping out with a spring in your step, because you've got the sun in your sign. There's a lot going on in your sign at the moment. You've got the sun in your sign for the next 3 weeks. It's a great time for you to be pioneering into new things, or to be thinking about doing that, until the 9th Mercury is in your sign, and you'll be very busy in your head. You'll probably, have schedules, but you can also be plotting and planning, researching. It would be good, gathering information. You've got Venus there too, in your own sign, oh joy, Venus in your sign right up until January. And that means that it's a sociable time for you. You'll be feeling outgoing. You want to connect with people. There'll be lots going on, and you'll probably be making fresh contacts. Things look particularly busy between the 19th and the 21st. Yeah, very busy time there. But that could be around a money project or physical material sorts of things there. Maybe you want to get your hands on something, or maybe you have, and maybe you're doing it up, or you're doing something with it, or buying or selling, something like that. So Mars is in an earthy area of your solar chart at the moment, which is about, practical things, possessions, physical objects, a property, and a property of any kind. It can be a static one or a moving one. But also it's an area which to do with your talents, Scorpio, your inborn talent, and that could be a good time for you to be developing that, or importing a bit of kit which will help you to develop that, or help you to feel like you're moving more in the direction of your natural leanings. So this month, physical energy, actual physical effort could be expended as you strive to secure and improve upon a material asset of some kind, or a project maybe, and also to improve your material security, your comfort zone, get things more how you want them there, maybe moving things around, maybe, getting into a space that becomes accessible to you. You're more inclined to take the initiative there in that area. You should take the initiative to acquire material objects or something bigger, anything which boosts your confidence or improves the comfort zone. Ideally, this acquisition should be something which underpins your personal interests and helps you to move forwards on your path, as I say. As with the sun in your sign, you're beginning a new personal cycle. So really it's all about me. For the first 3 weeks of this month, this is a time when you should really be just at some point in some area doing something just for yourself, something which you'd like to do for yourself, however small or big a thing that is. Another way this can work is that you are busy developing a source of some kind. It could be for yourself, or it could be for somebody else. Also, it could be a skill or a talent of yours. But, it's likely that others are going to really appreciate your input. They're going to see a potential in you. Now, on another level, Saturn, in the most obscure part of your chart for 2+ years, could have you squaring up to some home truths. It would be a good thing to be reviewing the past, really quite a long section of the past over this time. And during this long transit of Saturn, you should be ditching a few immature behaviors or outgrown scenarios or attachments or habits, that you've got that aren't good for you. Because basically with Saturn here, you're clearing the decks for a bright new future. And that will be kicking off a 28-year cycle in your sign when Saturn gets into your sign, which won't be for, about 2 years. Basically, you're tying up those loose ends from the person you were and stepping into the new person that you're becoming. So some inner reflection from time to time, or perhaps more spiritual healing activities, or spiritual psychic development, healing development could be going on for you during this period. Also, you being consulted perhaps as well during this period, because you can build that up, a kind of a structure there for yourself, working on these deeper levels, which can be very helpful to assist others. And also with the imagination, I have to say, beavering away at something in the background, which isn't going to be ready for a while, which requires you to sort of shut yourself away every now and again because you're building something, you're developing something. Yeah, that would also be a good thing too. Now, Jupiter is in a more playful, sociable area of your solar chart until early next year. And that means that the spontaneity and originality and entrepreneurship could come to the fore during this time. Definitely good for romance, definitely good for a new partnership, and perhaps also some of you having more contact with young people, generally getting in touch with your own inner child though, and having a more light-hearted feeling within you, which allows you to play more or play with ideas or get into something which you enjoy doing. This position of Jupiter offers more potential for fresh ventures, maybe a little bit of a speculative sort of venture, you know, and at the moment you may be weighing that up. Maybe it's not coming together quite yet, so you're sussing it, you're researching it, you're researching potential, you know, quietly to yourself of a person or a relationship or maybe of a project for the future. Venus in your sign for several months is great news for all love relationships, Scorpio, and this could be, you know, a more self-indulgent, fun time. At least that will be, you know, more accessible to you than previously. Because others tend to find you attractive and appreciate your value, your input, your ability, whether that's in a personal sense or a professional sense. And also, this is a time when you can come across as charming, talented, interesting. You could probably swing a deal or two, which, you know, is really beneficial for yourself, because Venus is also the money planet. So make hay while the sun shines, because, as I say, this kind of aspect is rare. From the 22nd, the focus is on home comforts or retail therapy, and also, you know, building up something on sort of material, practical sorts of levels. And that's it for November. If you know your rising sign, listen to that too, because it'll throw another light on what I've said here. And I'll see you the next time.